Hey guys, so in this video I promised to show you guys how to create or how to import an existing contract, right? That we've already done, but just to simplify the process for you to see how you can import an existing contract, the one we did in class especially. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to import it here, show you guys how to do it on Remix and interact with it so that everybody can have that same contract to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that is done. So the first thing we are going to use three things in this video. We're going to use Remix, we're going to use Etherscan, and then I'm going to walk you through how to use this. So in order not to waste time, let's get into how we do this. So the first thing we need is Remix, right? So we are going to go to remix.ethereum.org and I will click on this. Now I'll drop the link to all the websites I'm going to use in the comment section of this video, so everything will be accessible to you. Just follow the video, click on the links, and then use it, right? So when you go to Remix, I'm going to expand this, increase the font so you can see it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the contract that exists, which is the same contract we used in class, but this is just a way to import the contract we've already deployed. Now, so how do I do that? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that contract that we already deployed and get the address of that contract. So the address of the contract is this. You don't need to do any of this. I'm just trying to pick the address of the contract I already used. So but before I proceed now, I'm going to go to the contract section. Remember I said when you go to remix.ethereum.org, I will share the link in the comment section. Just click on the link, it will take you to Remix. You will see this interface here. Let me just refresh this. Once you go to Remix, you will see the interface once again. Once you see the interface, you will see this for a start. What you need to do is you will see this file explorer. Once you go to the file explorer, you will see something called contracts. Now click on contracts folder to expand it. Once you expand it, you will see this folder called artifact, or you might not see it in your own case. The reason why I have artifact is because I've already compiled a contract. So don't worry if you don't see artifacts. You don't even need to see it if you are starting it for the first time. Then the next thing you will see is storage. Now this storage is a contract. The reason I know it's a contract is because it contains .sol. .sol is a short form of Solidity. Remember we are using Solidity as the keyword, the programming language that we are using, right? So the keyword in this context now is Solidity. The short form of Solidity is SOL. So when you have a contract or a file in your code, in your computer, anywhere you see .sol, you automatically know that that is a Solidity contract. It's that simple. So what you need to do next is I will click on this because this is the contract we used in class. But interestingly, we are not interacting with any of this. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to close this. So I'm going to close this folder again. We don't need this. So what do we need? Remember, I went back here the other time to copy this contract address, right? So I'm going to go back to this tab, go to leave the file explorer section, go to the deploy section. Please, this is important now. When I go to the deploy section, I click on this link. When I click on this link, I'm going to now go here, right? I don't want any of these things that happen here. Nope, I'm not interested. What I'm interested in is just this address here. So I'll click on the address. This address you can see here, this part of it, this aspect of this code that has load contract from address. This is what I need. So I'm going to paste the address that I copied, which I'm also going to share with you guys in the comment section. So you just copy that address and paste it here. Once you paste it here, you will see that this becomes enabled. Now I will click on that address. Once I click on it, you will notice that there is something here called storage at so memory. That is it. So this is all you need to interact with this contract. But now we are not done. This is the first step. So we are literally done with the first step. So how do I know this is the contract that I want to interact with or that I deployed earlier? Now let's open up this contract. You will see that there are two functions. The first function is what? Store and retrieve. That means it's the same function as the contract we deployed earlier. Store and retrieve. That's just it. So it's that simple. So now I will collapse this, but that's the first step. So we are done with the first step. The next thing we need to do is we need to now change the environment. Remember I explained this in class, but to just buttress it again for those that didn't get it the first time. This environment is what helps me to select which chain I want to deploy to. Does that make sense? It's just to select the chain I want to deploy to. So what that means is I click on Remix VM Prague that I have here, that's the environment. I don't want to use Remix VM. I want to use my MetaMask wallet that already has balance, right? And I want to make sure I'm deploying to a Sepolia network. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my wallet, right? I'm going to click on it. I'm going to check here. I will click on, there's a little icon here. If you have your MetaMask installed, you will click on it just to check if it's on Sepolia. Now, if you see this blue border on Sepolia, then, and this color here on it, you know that yes, this is the selected blockchain that I want to use. So I will click on it. Once I click on it, you will see that I have 0.1067 Sepolia ETH in my own case. If you do not have the Sepolia ETH, you need to get the faucet. If you need faucet, you can drop me a message personally. I'll create the faucet. I'll send you a faucet, a small amount, a faucet, yeah, just small amount that you can use to interact with the Sepolia ETH blockchain testnet. Just Sepolia testnet, right? You can use to interact with it. So once that is done, you are sure that you are on Sepolia. Yes, you are sure that yes, you have a bit of balance. You don't need to have 0.1. It's too much for one transaction, but I have SS, so you just need to have a little amount that can undo the transaction. Once you have these two, then you can collapse this, then go back to your left side of Remix, that's the environment section. Click on this. Now when you click on it, you will see injected provider MetaMask. Now once I click on this, what happens? It will automatically select. You can see the network it's using now. I want to use Sepolia because I selected Sepolia from my MetaMask, right? That's when I selected this. You can see now, and you can see from here and from here, they are literally the same thing. Do you see now? So that means when I selected this here, this Remix now that I'm using automatically notice that I want to use Sepolia, and it has recorded it here. And you can see the address also, that the address is FD93F, and here is also FD93F, and it ends with 0A41A, and this one also ends with 0A41A. And you can see the balance is the same, 0.1067, 0.1067 plus other numbers. So that means this is the account I want to use to deploy or interact with this contract. In this case, it has been deployed. So I just want to call the functions. That's where we are right now. So that means the step 2 is done. So we've done the first step, which is interacting with getting the address, right? That's the first thing we did. But the second thing now is we are doing this injected provider. But you notice that there's no longer a deploy contract, because the moment I change the environment, it totally goes away. Now what I need to do is I need to, after I've selected the injected provider as MetaMask for my environment, I confirm the address, which is the account here, to be the same. I confirm the balance to be the same. I confirm the network to be the same. That means everything is settled. What I need to do is now check this account. Remember this address that we selected the other time, and click on the address. And once I click on it, the storage is back. Now you can see that now it's on what? Blockchain. Initially it was on memory, but now I'm using an actual blockchain to interact with it. So if I click on this now, I still have the same functions as before: store and retrieve. That makes sense. So now we are done with everything we need. So first thing we need to do is I need to expand this terminal section so that I can see what is happening. First of all, I'll click there to clear the console so I can have a blank slate. Then I'll put a number. Let me say I put 7. I'll use 7 as the number. Store on chain. Okay, let me 17. So once I click on 17 now, I will click on, remember I have enough balance, 0.106, right? So I need to be sure I have the balance. So I'll click on store. Once I click on store, it's going to pop up this wallet for me like this. You can see this. So it's going to give me the transaction requests, information, all of those things, the network fee, the speed, interacting with the contract address I'm interacting with, the origin of the request, which is remix.ethereum.org. all of those things are confirmed. Then I click confirm, and once I click confirm, that means I'm sending a verification to the blockchain that yes, this is coming from me, from my address, from my wallet, right? So once I'm done with that, you will see it's going to give you transact to storage.store pending. The reason why I have storage.store is because the contract name is storage. I'm trying to store a number on the blockchain. Which number am I trying to store? 17. So let's check if that is valid, and let's check if we have that truly on chain. So I'll click on view on Etherscan. I'll just click on it. Once I click on it, it will open a new page for me. a new browser page. Let me increase the font of this. Now you will see that that transaction I created just 18 seconds ago, and let's confirm if it's the same number. So I will click on decode input data down here, and you can see I have 17. That makes sense. So automatically this transaction we did from here, by importing the address of the contract, I can interact with it. So let me check the contract address itself. So I will go back to the contract address by clicking on this one. This is the contract address 97F1. I will click on it to take me to the contract address. Now you can see I have 3 transactions. These 2 were the one we did in class. This is the latest one, which is 56 seconds ago. Do you see it now? So this is exactly what I want you guys to replicate. I want you guys to try this out so that you can interact with this same address on chain, like without needing to rewrite the contract. I've already deployed the contract. I just want you to interact with it and see your address. This is my address right now. So once all of you have done this process, and then you've imported the wallet, the contract address, and then you interact with it, you can put any number you want to it, and that becomes automatically the number on chain. So I want to see your addresses also the same way I can see my address here that you've interacted with the contract. So that is the essence for this video. So if you don't understand anything from this explanation, just drop a comment. I'll try to follow up the comments, try to explain as much as I can for you to get this done. But I want that to be done like as soon as possible. So yes, that's the reason for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Any question, drop it on the comment section and I'll be sure to answer them. Yes, so that is that for this video. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.